All right, everybody, welcome back to Intentional Improvement. We are here to intentionally improve your life by one conversation at a time. I am your host, Erica Lamar. So I'm here today with an astounding woman who has come here with really a lot of adversity, and she has created all of her opportunities and the life that she lives. She is a high-end luxury photographer and studio owner here in Las Vegas and shoots some of the most prolific and renowned names here in Las Vegas. I have my guest, Jacqueline Andrea. Welcome to the show.
Hola, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my
Yay.
gosh, well, thank you so much. So there's going to be no delay in getting into our conversation because we have a lot to unpack, especially starting from your beginnings. And you're not from America. You actually immigrated from a different country, and you've had a lot of obstacles you had to overcome, right?
Yeah, I came here from Guatemala. I'm originally a Latina, so definitely doing this completely in English is big for me because I never saw myself doing a full conversation, intentional conversation like this. To me, I was, like anyone coming from another country, you learn the language and learn the culture. So that was 22 years ago, I want to say, so It's been a minute.
Wow. So what are some of the challenges that you originally faced when you came here? And, what did you see yourself doing in the beginning? And then how did you evolve into getting into photography?
Well, okay, hold on. Where should I start? So, challenges. One of the main challenges probably was being away from my family because I'm a very family-oriented person. Grew up with two sisters, my mom and my dad, and we always been very close together. Mm-hmm. So the fact of separating was very hard for me. But the main reason why I came to the States or immigrate, period, was because Guatemala is a very insecure country still. Unfortunately, it's gorgeous, but it's very insecure. Mm-hmm. So I had my babies at a time. My son was 4 years old, my daughter was a year old, and there was a trend where they wanted to steal your car with your baby in the backseat.
Oh my God.
So whenever my husband at a time told me there's an opportunity for us to go to the States, let's go explore it, I'm like, let's go. I'm a risk taker, so let's do it. So being away from a family, having two children that were so little, also being a stay-home mom from like night to day because I was working back then, and then I came here and I couldn't work. I didn't have the documents to work, so I had the opportunity to stay with my kids at home. I don't regret it, but it was hard for me. It was a challenge because I always worked since I was 15. So for me, staying at home and just being a mom with two tiny humans, that was huge, and it really tried me. And there are definitely things that made me cry was probably thinking that's all the opportunities I had here, just be their mom. And it was beautiful, but at the same time, it was not what I wanted for myself.
Did you feel like you lost your identity with that, traveling here, and you just felt at the time that your opportunities were taken from you?
Probably not that I lost my identity. It's just that I needed to find a new one because I'm always been a very optimistic person. So I always do one day at a time. I know that if I am uncomfortable, that is my cue for me to move and do something different. So I enrolled myself to the gym, to LVAC. I put my kids in playroom, 2 hours for myself was amazing. Started meeting people. I'm very social, so even though my English was very, very broken, at the time I was able to make some friendships that were also Latinas or, mix it up a little bit and learn English with my son in school.
Yeah. So when did you start creating the confidence to, build your own business, and take us through that journey and, talk us through how you eventually got to where you are today?
I came from a family of entrepreneurs, okay? So my dad is very creative. He's always doing something different, and I think that I have that in my blood. So since I was back in Guatemala, I always made it a point to have my own things going on. I modeled back then, back in the day. So I did a lot of things like that, and I tried to bring it here. I went to college in Guatemala, and it was photography, communication. So it was like a degree kind of in photography, but not really deep in photography. So whenever I moved here, I had myself, two beautiful children that needed to be photographed in a camera, a very simple camera. So I started doing that. kind of asking people that I will meet, like kind of take pictures of your kids. So I started photographing kids. The photos came out amazing, and I'm like, okay, I think I can start charging, and it was probably nothing. It was like $40, something like that, but it was my $40, so I felt accomplished. And little by little, I just started creating that, like whenever you put it out, it's like, oh, I like taking pictures. Maybe I'm not a photographer just yet because I had a lot to learn, but I like taking pictures. So time passed, and I had my photography studio in my garage, and it was tough because you know how Vegas is. It's very cold or very warm, and whenever it's very warm, you really can't work around that.
You're against the elements.
Yes, so I had to work with that for a while, and then little by little, just kind of expanded, meeting people. I'm a Zumba instructor. I think Zumba was a huge thing in my career because I got to meet a lot of great, amazing people through dance, and it opened doors for a lot of opportunities that I don't think I would have found just like that.
Yeah, wow. So there's a lot of people who are afraid to network and like really put themselves out there. Have you always been social? And if you were not a social person, how would you train yourself to become one?
Well, I'm naturally social. I don't have a problem. I do struggle with the word network. The word network to me is very formal. So whenever somebody says, "Oh, there's a networking event," I'm like, ugh. And it's it is. I like to call it just like social parties, wherever you just go and meet people. But I don't. In my mind, I'm like, I'm not gonna go network. I'm just gonna go make friends, and I'm just gonna go connect with people.
So you just change that word in your head.
Yeah, just change that word. Of course, I cannot make everyone change the word because it doesn't mean the same to everyone. But for me, it was like, okay. To me, networking event is one of those elaborated clubs wherever you have to pay to belong, and I don't like that because I can do it by myself. So I'm just go like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna meet people. I go work in a coffee place, and I can meet people in a coffee place. So it's just a matter of opening your heart to meeting new people and being able to connect, and invite others to your life.
Yeah, I love that. So I know the last time we were together, you were actually doing my photos, and they came out
gorgeous.
So amazing. Well, thanks to you. But you mentioned you had some struggles with your husband at the time while you were building your business. And can you talk us through that and, what happened and how did you get through it?
Well, definitely we were very different in the sense that he wanted a stay-at-home wife, do it all, kind of Latino. And I was not that person. So it's whenever those worlds collide, it's not a really good experience for none of them. So he didn't support me so much. He kind of supported me like, I'm already doing it, so I don't have any other option. For him, it was like, okay, I don't have any other option than to support you. But I didn't have that support, that feel from my daughter's dad. And, but I always been the kind of person that is like, okay, you're not gonna support me, but this is really what I want. So either you're in the boat or you start swimming, baby, because I'm not gonna stay there, and just do nothing. I'm just gonna continue my path and learn. So that is what really happened.
So he really didn't want growth for you.
He didn't want growth, and I think it's just because we wanted something so different. Or the concept of a family, for us, it was very different. For me, it's like we thrive together, we grow together, we support each other, we're each other's biggest fans. For him, was more like, I am the one that is going to thrive, and you stay home while I can thrive and get the money in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very different concepts, and I don't blame him. I think that it's also cultural, and I think that it's a mind that I don't know how to explain it because I don't understand it, but I decided I don't need to understand it or be around it. So yeah.
That's always tough too when you have a partner, like you guys want to really grow and be on the same level, and if you can't, you're out of balance, you're out of whack.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
and I now have my husband, and he supports me like. He goes all in. It's like, he is my biggest fan. He's like, you can do it. Don't give up. Your ideas are amazing.
He's your biggest fan.
He is. And whenever I don't have a good idea, he's always like, let's reconsider that. Let's just look in another way. So it's kind of those team meetings that we intimately have, at home, that is like, okay, yeah, that idea sucks. Maybe I shouldn't do it.
He's like your filter.
Yeah, it's like my sounding board. Yeah.
So how did everything grow into what it is today? Because not only are your photos very good, but it's your energy. I've never, you know what? So I've had photos taken by a photographer one time, and I think that, she had her business established, but she didn't bring the energy. It was very neutral, and I didn't feel pepped up or encouraged or alive. But when I was with you, I felt all those things plus more.
Oh, good to hear.
Yes. I mean, it was a really, really great experience. And out of that, I got really great photos because you brought that energy out of me. So you were able to help me experience that human behavior and emotion right there, what you were trying to capture in the photo. So how did you get to where you are today with your clientele and having your studio and have your business really become and bloom and blossom to what it is right now?
Well, thank you that you think that my business is blossom, and I think it is. I think I came definitely far from whenever I started. So, but as I was mentioning to you behind the scenes, was that to me, the most important part of my business is customer service. If you're not having a great experience, I don't think you're gonna feel good in your photos. So as a consequence, you're not gonna have good photos. And to me, it's the whole thing, the whole package from the moment I receive your call to book me. If I don't feel that connection, I am not your photographer. And I don't want to put you through that just because of money. This is not just a transaction. It really has to be something very powerful that is for both of us a great experience.
So you take it personal.
I take it very personal. Yeah, I take it personal. And I want to say 99% of the people that come to my studio are people that the first thing they say is, I do not like taking pictures. I do not like good pictures. I do not know how to pose. And I'm like,
that's exactly what I said, all three of those.
Yeah. But that's normal. That's normal. It's because people haven't had that experience. So I want you to leave my studio loving your photos, or I'm not going to let you go. We're going to do it over and over again until we love your photos.
The amount of energy that you used in that 4-hour span, I was just like, oh my gosh, this lady's like the Energizer Bunny. Where did she get this energy from? But I could personally see that you put a lot of heart and work and ethics and energy into at least my session. And so is that how you treat every single session?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, depending on how your personality is, not everyone allows us to be that, fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are people that are very serious, so we try to kind of go with the vibe, with the flow. But most of the time, not most of the time, always, I want to say that 100% of the time, we focus on you. So you are the star of the show. By the moment you cross our door, you are the star of the show. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make you feel that way. So even if you're serious or you're very shy, because we have that. We know people that are very shy. I encountered that a lot of my clients come and tell me their problems. Like whenever you go to the hair salon and you start just telling because you feel comfortable with that person, that is exactly how we are at the studio. So we became kind of therapists, okay, let's sit down, let's see what's going on. It's not that you don't like taking pictures. There's something a little bit more profound behind this. And it could be an abusive husband. It could be something that happened in your childhood. And I am not a therapist, okay, but I discovered that most of the time that is what happened. It's like, I grew up having problems, like the way I looked. I never liked the way I looked. So whenever I put myself in front of the camera, I didn't like my pictures because I was overweight or something, so since I was little. So some stories like that I get to hear, and I'm like, I'm going to prove you that you are gorgeous and you are worth it. And I'm going to make sure that you feel that way because I am not lying. I'm just helping you see that as well, using my eyes.
Social media has also just perpetuated how people feel about themselves because a lot of the times, like when you see a photo on Instagram or videos on TikTok, a lot of it's edited and they're all posing, and that's usually not how the natural human body looks.
It is posing and lighting. Sometimes it's not even editing. It is posing and lighting, and it's like it's just really knowing your angles. Not everyone is 100% pretty, like we have angles that are not as beautiful as the other angles. So helping you discover that is my superpower.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I share with a lot of people, especially women. I want to say 90% of people that come to my studio are women.
Yeah. So for the listener who is listening on the audio podcast and not watching through video, can you explain what are some of the poses that somebody could actually do to sharpen their image or enhance maybe like a skinnier, firmer look?
Yeah, well, I'm happy definitely to show you or to explain you just with words. Let's see if I can do it just with words. Because again, what I was telling my husband the other day, I'm like, I am very knowledgeable in Spanish, but whenever I put it in English, it sounds funny. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a shot.
You're doing great.
So let's go.
You're doing great.
So first of all, you know, knowing what side of your face is the most pretty. Okay, because we are very uneven when it comes to a face. So some people say, oh, my eye looks bigger than the other one. Yeah, because that's how it should be. If you have your eyes exactly the same, it is not how a human is designed.
Yeah.
We have one eye bigger than the other one. One side is prettier. So knowing your angles, like for example, you see me taking photos, and most of the time I'm in this side. This is my favorite side. If I take photos in this side, I don't want to say I look ugly, but I don't see myself the same way, okay?
Yeah.
Because my self-esteem is also very good in place, so I don't call myself ugly. I just said that is not a good angle.
It's your preferred side.
Yes, it's my preferred side. For people that are a lot fuller body-wise, just bring your hips back, you know, the way you straight up your body, you know, like bring your chin out. We were talking about this. Bring your chin out, and whenever you do that, bring your chin out and down. So it does this, just like that. And you know, there's something about that technique that also changes the expression on your eyes. You just did it. I wish I had a camera to show you. So whenever you bring your chin out and down, it does this with the eyes automatically, never fails.
Yeah, you almost have like that confident glare when you do that with your eyes. Talk to us like about the power of posing. So you help somebody pose, and have you ever heard of like some of the science behind like posing and how it can change your physiology, can actually change the way you're thinking? Like if you go into a power pose where you stand up and you have your arms out like this and you're standing like Superwoman, you now start to feel more powerful. When you're helping people pose for photos, do you see their behaviors and their thoughts about them shift?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's like a confidence. Whenever you're like there, you make them sit down, right? So sit down, first thing they do is this, right? So they just sit down. Or go all the way back.
Yeah.
That is terrible pose, right? It is a terrible pose, but then you're like, okay, just bring it forward and bring your leg over just to cross it a little bit, put your hand in front of the, so those things automatically, it's making you feel a lot more confident. You can feel it. And it helps you also release the stress because sometimes they're like this, right? And I said, just relax your shoulders. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The tension,
the tension is like, okay. It's kind of a little massage, automatic massage, you know, just relax those shoulders. And they are like, okay, so this is not that bad.
When you probably are coaching somebody to pose, they probably see how tense they are when you're like, okay, just relax. Now, how does that feel? Like, you know, if you're telling somebody, like when you go from tense to relaxed, you probably can think better because you're not so like, you know, stressing your body.
Absolutely. And I call the first shots the warm-ups just because I know that you never really been in front of a camera. So those are going to be our warm-ups, okay? So just, you know, this is just a camera and this is me. I'm your friend. You know, I'm like, I just pretend you're taking photos with a friend, really. I don't say it. I make them feel that way. So it's definitely a lot more relaxing. They're a lot more confident after that.
Oh, I like that. I like that. You know, have you ever dealt with anybody who's really difficult to pose and take photos of?
Yes. Yes. And I want to say that most of the time is people that struggle big time with confidence. It doesn't have to do anything with how your body looks or how you look. It is confidence. So some people are really into their heads, and it's really hard, you know, because again, I'm not a therapist. I'm your photographer. I'm just helping you. I'm helping you pose and be more comfortable. At the same time, I cannot get that I'm ugly, I'm not worth it kind of thing out of you if you don't let me. So just be open, you know. So be open, and that's what I said in my studio whenever somebody comes in. It's like, we don't allow negative self-talking. Here, we're capable, we're gorgeous, we're everything, but we are not ugly, we're not, you know, so negative self-talk is definitely something that we avoid 100% in the studio.
Could you imagine, like, if you had that negative self-talk about yourself, even given like your current situation with your former husband? I can't do it. He won't let me. If you thought about all these obstacles and just stayed in your head, where you would be today?
No, I will never do it.
Yeah.
Because, unfortunately, he had very powerful words where he will tell me how I will just leave things, and they're like, I got my Zumba certificate. He didn't want me to get my Zumba certificate. It's like, why do you need that? If you're just gonna leave it there. You're just gonna start it and never gonna finish it. I got awards for being a Zumba instructor. Mm-hmm. I got, so many people's help the community, I'm like, I am not gonna prove you wrong. I'm just gonna prove myself that I can do it.
Yeah.
And I did it.
What attracted you to Zumba?
I love to dance. And I it was actually an accident that I just stumbled into. One of the instructors, I was taking kickboxing. And the instructor just stopped the class and said, well, we're just going to try this new format. It was back in 2007, so we're talking about a long time ago. And she started doing a salsa move. I'm like, salsa, I am salsa, And then I started doing it, and she's like, oh, you know this format? And I'm like, no, but I know salsa. And she's like, oh my God, you're so good. She started paying me $20 an hour to go to her house and teach her some Zumba moves, but there was just Latin moves. So that's how it started. And then she's like, you should get certified. And I'm like, I have no money. I have a husband that does not support me. I call my mom, I need $190. I want to get certified.
So
and she's like, all right, let's do it. And I'm like, I don't know if I paid her back. Sorry, Mom, if I didn't pay her back. Yeah, she supported me through that.
So it sounds like you just love people, because inadvertently through Zumba, you're helping women find confidence within themselves through their movement, through their body, and then through photos, you're helping them see the confidence, see their beauty, sometimes people have to see their worth to believe it themselves.
Yeah, you cannot tell them. They have to see it by themselves,
Yeah. It's amazing too how many people just don't have faith in themselves. Even though they've got everything they need, they just don't have the faith. But that's beautiful that you're there to show them through movement and body, and then through photos.
Yeah, I have a story about Zumba. There was this person, and I try to tell it because I feel that it's very powerful whenever you just do things for love. I love to dance. I started teaching my classes. My classes were packed all the time. We're talking about 100 and something people in LBAC when we first started. And I remember this person that she will come to the class and she will be all the way in the back. And then one day she just came, gave me a big hug, and she said, thank you. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And she's like, yeah, because of you, I didn't kill myself. And it was like, she's like, I pushed myself to come into the class, and you greeted me with the biggest smile, and you gave me a hug without even knowing me. I saw her all the time, but she was in the back, so it really didn't get to know her. But I'm like, and she's like, I pushed myself to come today, and I'm so grateful I did. She's still going to my classes. It's like, it became her lifestyle. And she looks amazing.
You just never know who you're impacting.
You never know. And then, it doesn't make me like, I'm a superhero. No, it's just like, I think that just by doing what I do and loving it, I'm just helping others, I guess, and I'm very proud of that. And I hope that I can help more people.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. You just never know whose life you're saving or touching.
Yeah, I just hope that she continues that. And I think she became an instructor for a little bit, and then she just goes to classes. But yeah, it was very nice to learn that, like a lot of stories, because I've been teaching since 2007, 7. And so it's been a long time, and we have been putting together like a lot of big events here in town.
Yeah.
And supporting foundations. As a matter of fact, we have one this Sunday if you want to come and dance with us. We're doing it.
I have 2 left feet. I can't dance.
I will prove you wrong. I think Zumba is the most simple thing that you can do. It's like, it's just move, have fun, go with the rhythm if you have rhythm. If not, just have fun, period.
There's something about doing things when you have fun that makes it enjoyable. Well, obviously fun is enjoyable, but when you do things that are fun, you seem to just want to keep doing it, and then you just get better at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I got kicked out of my dance class when I was little.
Oh,
I
really?
totally did, and yeah, and I'm like, well, I do like to dance, so I'm just gonna keep dancing. How about that? And then I became an instructor. It's not the same as being a dancer, of course, because it's Zumba. It's a kind of more like a mix of dance and aerobics, but same thing. I'm still dancing.
If you were to look back 20 years ago, would you ever have thought that you would have impacted people's lives the way you do today?
I don't think so. It was not my mission. It was not like, oh, I'm going to grow up to impact people. It's not what I just leave. I just leave. And I think just by doing that in a good way, trying to stay in the right lane, doing the right things, smiling at people. Sometimes people are just mad out of nowhere. And I go and grab a cup of coffee and I'm smiling at somebody that is completely a stranger. And they smile back and they're like, okay, it's not that bad of a day.
Yeah. And sometimes, we really do make mountains out of molehills. We, in our heads, stuck in our thoughts, will make the problem and perpetuate it much bigger than what it really should be.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't have my days when I just don't want to see people. I'm a Capricorn. I want to see people, but I don't. So, I have my moments where I'm like, this is way too people-y for me. I'm just staying home. And my husband knows. It's like, all right, we're just staying home this weekend because she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like she doesn't feel social. There's some days like that. But whenever I'm like, okay, I'm ready, let's go. Let's have I have good energy. I'm like, let's go meet people. Let's make some friends.
Have you always been a happy person?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. I did a little speech about this, about being happy and how to be a happy person. And I feel that most of the time it is because I just leave and let others leave, right? So you can be whoever you are. I'm not going to try to change you. You can do whatever you are. I'm not going to try. As long as you are not affecting me, my family, or anyone else, we're good. You're struggling. I mean, if I can help you, I'll help you. But if you don't let me help you, I'm not going to be the person that is going to be like after you, So I feel that is a big piece of that. Like, I'm just me, stay in my lane, as I said, and be happy and control what I can control.
Yeah. What about those days where you just seem like you don't have any control and you want to take back control? What does that inner dialogue for you look like?
So I'm going to give you an example actually this morning. That exactly was what happened. So I'm going through something personally that is not bad. I don't want to say it's bad. It's just something that is going on in my side of the world that is affecting people I love, right? But it's a situation that I cannot take control. So this morning, I wanted just to grab the phone and call that person and tell this person, you're a piece of this or that, and you insult this person, to get it out. But instead, what I did was just like take, a few deep breaths, and I said, you know what, I'm going to send this person good vibes. I hope this person heals, because she's affecting others by not healing. And it's sad, but there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
So I'm just, in my thoughts, I'm like, I'm just going to trust. I'm just going to trust. And I did. And something really magically happened after that. So I got a call, and they are just telling me that she flipped a little bit, and like she wants a conversation and whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna trust. I really hope that she becomes a good person, a happy person, because happy person don't do these kind of things. Happy people don't do these kind of things. They just go through life spreading happy. And I just really hope that this person gets to that point whenever she's so happy that there is no other version of her that can actually hurt anyone.
Yeah.
I really hope. So that is whenever I come from. Like, I'm not in control. Just trust. Trust.
Are you a woman of faith?
I am, yeah.
So, the Bible does say that we are supposed to pray for our enemies.
Yeah.
There's no merit in praying for the people that we already like.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of goes back to like Jesus leaving the 99 for the one.
Yeah.
To, bring back and heal the one. And what's great too is like when you are trying to heal and help an enemy, you're actually becoming a part of the solution, not the problem. Because
Absolutely.
Healed people heal people, and hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you can transfer that that energy, that love, that warmth to somebody. And essentially, that's all they want anyways. They, somewhere in their life, they don't feel loved. Maybe they don't talk to themselves with love. And all of it starts from here. And if you can help them flip that internal script to the thoughts that they're saying to themselves, I mean, they'll change the way that they talk to other people.
Absolutely.
So I was on a podcast with the psychologist who came here from Australia, and I was recommended to her by Dom, the hypnotist, who was actually he was on my show, and he hypnotized one of Joe Rogan's guests and somebody on ESPN. It was so cool. But he ended up referring me over because he had to, went to go and enjoy his honeymoon because he just got married. But, I was having this really in-depth conversation with this woman, and we were talking about, filling up your cup. And a lot of people say, well, you got to fill up your cup. And I'm like, yes, but with what? What's in the content of that cup? Are you, you go and fill up your cup. Some people fill up their cup with chaos, and that's what they give back, and that's what they get. And I think it's really important that if you do fill up your cup, you fill it up with something pure and not poison. Because a lot of the times, people can go recharge themselves. They can collect the negative energy, the bad energy, and that's what they give back to people. And then you're just perpetuating this sickness. Yeah. But if you become a part of the solution and you give that purity that was in your cup that you filled, like filtered pure water, to somebody who's thirsty and needs some, I mean, you're going to slowly clean their cup if you just keep pouring into it.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful. And I agree 100%. I think that it's definitely how things should be. Yeah. But it doesn't work for everyone, it's just apply it. That's it.
You have to apply it too. And I think most importantly, you have to want the change. Because you know this, I know this, change is painful.
It is, yeah.
Because, we are naturally creatures of habit. We don't want to do something different, but change is important, but I think how quickly can you adapt to that change? You gotta want it quickly.
Absolutely. And it's, as you say, painful. Think about the butterflies, right?
That's right. Think about the butterflies. They quite literally go through a physical metamorphosis and change.
Yes.
Change.
I love butterflies, by the way.
I mean, that's actually beautiful because, they physically change their form. They go from something that crawls to something that can now fly. Yeah.
And they're beautiful, most of them,
Most of them. Are they poisonous? Are there any poisonous butterflies?
I learn, actually, every time I can, I go to, how you call it? In Spanish, it's mariposario. I don't know how you call it. Butterfly habitat? Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, habitat. I go sometimes, and then I learn a lot of things about butterflies that are always, amaze me, And I learned that they are not poisonous, the actual butterflies, but there is some versions that look like butterflies that are.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't remember the name right now, but yeah, that's what I learned. It's no, they're not poisonous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But just be careful, because some butterflies can look like butterflies, but they're not actually butterflies. So don't touch every butterfly.
So I don't like butterflies because of a butterfly habitat that I went to when I was in Japan. So when I lived in Okinawa, my mom thought it would be a great idea to take us to a place called a butterfly garden.
Okay.
Where you go in there, you're supposed to go in wearing bright colored shirts, and then they give you a hat and they spray nectar all over you. Oh my God, these things were in my hair. They were all over the place. And so I could not run fast. There's nowhere I could run where these butterflies were not chasing me.
No. I've never been to one like that they actually spray you something so you get it more attractive.
You would love it.
I would love it.
Yeah, they drench you in nectar. Huh. And so these butterflies, they just come on you and they stick on you. But I was like, oh my God, these butterflies won't go away. So now I don't like butterflies.
Oh no. But you have to go to the ones that are around here. They don't do that to you. Actually, it's very hard for them to come to you. You have to be okay.
Oh yeah, now maybe I'll enjoy that one. Yeah. So, girl, you've got so much stuff going on. And I know that you're working on something big. I mean, I know of it. But I don't know too much about it. So what is the next big thing for you that you're working on that's going to just change things for you and your business?
Well, first of all, breaking news, you're part of my campaign, the 2025 She Means Business. It's a book. It's a huge project of mine. It's huge for me. And I invited all these women to be part of it, women with a beautiful story that we can, all relate and get inspired by. So that's a book that we're releasing October 11th. But recently, I get involved with a lot of things, but they're fun things, okay? I think things with a purpose. That's what I do. So recently, I've been getting a lot of calls about boudoir photography. Do you know what boudoir is?
That's like the sexy photos, right?
It's the sexy photos, lingerie. Usually, boudoir means it's a term for bedroom. It's like or like where the people used to get ready. There's a name for that. So that is what boudoir is. But I put a little bit of a twist in my boudoir photos. So I just recently, and when I say recently, like 2 weeks ago, opened an Instagram page, and I'm bringing some people into the studio to experience it. So it's same thing, like looking at your beautiful self, and rewarding yourself with a beautiful photo shoot. So it's a whole experience where you go, from wardrobe curation with like a hair and makeup session, like guided photo shoot and all the whole nines. And then you get to see the photos, and it's like it can develop into a book. And it's an art book. So basically we collect all the photos that we took, their favorite photos, and they go in this book that is gorgeous. And it's like, to me, it's whenever I did it the very first time was after my divorce, and it was life-changing. Not because I was putting myself in front of a camera naked. It was just because I saw myself in a different way whenever I'm like, I'm worth it. I'm so beautiful,
If you were to put that in words, what did you see? And how'd that make you feel when you finally experienced your photos in this, how do you say, boudoir?
Boudoir. So I went through not a rough divorce, but a very draining one. When it comes to self-confidence, I was losing it. I was like thinking that I was not beautiful. I had that stage when I'm like, I don't see myself like that, and I don't feel good. So my friend, he's my best friend, Marco, he's also a makeup artist, one of my makeup artists in the team. I told him, I'm like, I want to do these photos. And I talked to one of my friends that works in the area, and I said, is there any way you can get us a room there? I would like to do these photo shoots. She got us the most gorgeous room in the place. So taking the photos was a lot of fun because my friend he's amazing. And then seeing the photos, like, oh my God, I'm literally gorgeous, Like, I'm beautiful. I know I'm worth it for somebody, Like, I know I'm going to find somebody that is going to see all this and say, yes, I don't want to let her go,
Oh.
So I saw myself in that light, and I gave myself that opportunity. So now I'm opening that opportunity to other women. And just recently, we had a photo shoot where it was, I don't want to say her name, but she lost a lot of weight, and she was struggling with, like the confidence. And then whenever she saw her photos, she was like, whoa. And she was looking at them from the back of my camera. So there was no alteration. I'm like, this is you, okay?
Yeah.
And she was like, I love this. And she was very thankful. So the Boudoir Experience Las Vegas is one of my baby products. And I'm opening the opportunity for women to experience that as well. Most people, will come like for like a birthday present, birthday gifts for themselves. And some people just need that reminder, as I did back in the day. It was a reminder that I was beautiful.
That's amazing. So you're really just showing women how strong and feminine they are.
Yeah, with my twist, because I love the boudoir photos, don't get me wrong, but there's so many photographers doing it. I just want to stay with one style, one high fashion, play with lights and all that stuff. And other than, you laying on a couch or, those, that are beautiful too, don't get me wrong. But this is me. This is more like because I've done it for myself.
Yeah.
I've done selfies. I will show you. I mean, I just recently posted one. I don't know if you saw it, where I have a hat and I'm just sitting like I'm in lingerie. So, and to me, that was a selfie, But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I'm a grandma, okay? So grandmas are not supposed to look like that.
Hottest grandma ever.
And I'm like, I still look good. I still could, So
Yeah.
it was very empowering for me too.
Oh, it's amazing. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Hi.
And they're good questions.
Okay.
So first question is, where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years, and how will that impact the lives of other people?
I'm not a big planner. I kind of just go with life, and life has been really good to me without planning. But I do see myself traveling a lot more. I started already traveling, which I love, but I want to impact people in a different way. I see my business really blooming as it is right now. I mean, again, I don't plan. My vision is very like limited, like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do this. In a year, I'm going to do this. But then after that, it's like, I'll go with it.
You're a spontaneous person.
Yeah,
huh?
I am. I don't like to plan because I know if I plan, I can get disappointed. And I don't like being disappointed. So I'm just like, throw it, life. Let's go.
Maybe that's the secret to being happy all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
So, second question is, knowing what you know today, what would you go back and tell yourself 20 years ago?
I think I always told myself this. I don't need to go back because I always told myself I was great and I was going to be okay. So I don't know what is in me. I don't think it is normal to be the way I am because, again, I just see what is around here at this moment. I live in the moment. I don't really look forward or look back. I mean, I just live. And that's how I've been since I was very little. So today I am eating a pizza and I'm focusing on that. And this is yummy and beautiful. But then whatever happens after, if I'm eating cereal for dinner, I mean, it's fine. It's still good.
Do you know what you're doing by doing that? You're living where your heart and feet are. You're being present.
Yeah.
That is something incredibly hard for most people to do. I can't even do that.
And it's very hard for some people. And sometimes I struggle to understand that in other people because sometimes I just want to help. Mm-hmm. When I see a friend that is struggling, like, oh, what happens if this, what happens if that? I'm like, you don't know. Why are you trying to predict the future? Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's no way you can know what's going to happen. The only way that it's going to happen is when it happens, period. It's true. And, I went through something very hard just a couple weeks ago. My dad was in the hospital. He got very, very sick. But I was always like, no, my dad is going to come back. My dad is fine. I mean, he is in the best hands. He was in Guatemala, thank goodness. So he was in the best hands. And I'm like, just living in that. I'm like, my dad is taken care of. Right now, he's okay. Right now, he's good. He's healing. And he healed. He's back with us.
There you go.
Yeah, but I never put myself thinking, what happened if he dies? What happened if this? Because I don't want to send that energy to him.
Yeah, the what if energy.
I'm like, today he's fine. Today he's eating. Today he's not feeling good, but he's going to feel okay. I know he's strong.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, and it just kind of keeps me centered, Like I like to feel that.
Very centered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to be like, today I'm eating a pizza and it is yummy.
Cereal.
I'm going to live in present tense.
But it's hard, I know. And the other day I was talking. I don't go to therapy. I don't think I need it. I don't think I need it. But okay, some people, I think that is great. But for some reason, I was talking to a therapist, and she said something that was very powerful to me. And she said, "Your problem is that you are too optimistic." I'm like, how's that a problem?
Is that
She's like, yeah, because you don't see bad in people. You don't see bad in situations. So you're always going to look for the good. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So maybe I should take it back a little bit, Like,
so she's saying that you don't profile.
Yes,
you don't.
Exactly. I'm like, maybe, but I'd rather have that problem because the opposite is not fun. And it's not me. So do I want to take away that problem? Maybe not. I'm ready to face the consequences of having the problem that is being too optimistic.
When it comes.
When it comes,
yeah.
If it comes. And so far, I don't think I've witnessed my life struggling because I am way too optimistic. No.
Maybe she was slightly jealous of your optimism.
No, I think she was just trying to help me.
I think you're on fire. Like, you're just doing so great in life, and you have a great mindset, and you have beautiful thoughts, and you have beautiful energy. It's what everybody strives and what everybody wants. But my last question, which is my favorite question, what are you grateful for?
Oh my gosh, I have such a big list. How much time do we have? Oscar, tell us. I'm so grateful for everything. I am so grateful for, if I can start, I'm grateful for my husband, grateful for my grandchildren, my kids, my family in general, for a powerful mind that allows me to keep moving forward even whenever there is situations that are kind of tough, for the power of health. because that's powerful. I mean, nowadays especially. So I'm grateful. There's so many things I'm grateful for. Maybe just ask me what I'm ungrateful for. I think that would be easier, less time.
Well, I mean, let's never ask this question before. So what are you not grateful for?
Whenever they put, what is it called, fish in my pizza. I try pizza with fish, with
anchovies?
Seafood. Oh,
I love anchovies.
That I am not very optimistic about, okay? There is no way I can say thankful for that.
What a great problem. It's a very easy problem to fix.
Oh my God, I'm like, who thought about this?
Reminds me of the person who says pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
Oh, no. I want to be that person because I need to. I love pineapple in pizza. I love pineapple in pizza.
So good. Well, Jackie, our journey together, me meeting you and just coming into your realm and your world, it's been nothing but just a burst of pleasure for me. And I've learned so much from you. And even just being in your presence today, I have a lot of takeaways. The biggest takeaway I have is to just be present, because that's where your happiness is. It's not in the past and it's not in the future. But I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing your beautiful story and your sets of wisdom that you've earned over your life with the audience, because I know that at the end of the day, everybody is looking for happiness and wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.